Hi, welcome to another Google Hangout. Today we are discussing the Swiss Basic Income Initiative, and we have two Swiss citizens, Caroline and Kurt. Hi guys, thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hi. Hi everyone.
Hi.
So on Friday, October 4th, we had the initiative of the Swiss basic income being presented to the public. It was great news around the world, so we are going to discuss what is it about, what are and what are we going to be sharing as an alternative proposal, which is the living income guaranteed. So Caroline, would you like to tell us what is this Swiss basic income initiative about?
Yeah. Well, first I would like to start to talk about what it means by direct democracy here in Switzerland. The Swiss citizens have practiced direct democracy, which meaning they participate directly in politics, and they can, which means also they have a say on the laws and the constitution and the organization of the cantons, the community, and everything that happens in Switzerland. They have a direct relationship to this. And so this basic income initiative is one of these direct initiatives. The people basically came together and they decided that this would be something nice. But according to the Swiss law, they have to acquire over 100,000 signatures for this to even be considered by the government, whether it can be law or not. So according to the procedure, everything was done. They had over 110,000 signatures were collected, and on the 4th of this month, like it was said, there was a meeting in Bern, and these signatures were handed over to the Chancellor, which is basically the government. And from there, the government will take on this issue because the people have decided, according to the signatures, the people's voice has been heard, and now it's up to the government to now take it from there before a referendum can be done. Because what basically happens after signatures are collected and the citizens have agreed that they want a certain initiative, which in this case is the basic income initiative, then the government is mandated to take over from there and look into this issue, which now this issue is currently in the government's hands, and lots of debates will be done. The public will be educated, and people will be shown the pros and cons of this initiative, and then in a referendum it will be decided whether this basic income initiative will benefit the whole population or it's something that will not work. So that's where we are at the moment. Now the next step we wait is to start seeing where this is going from the government.
That's a very clear explanation.
Basically the basic initiative. Yeah.
Definitely cool. So we got the basics. Let's look at the problematics. What have you guys spotted so far in relation to the sustainability, how it will be, for example, funded? Kurt, do you have some perspectives on that?
Yeah, there are currently many positions and many meanings how they want to finance it. One is with the added value tax, which actually every single product would be more expensive. The other things would be the national bank, which is holding the Swiss franc currency, and the third is which is actually from the taxes, income taxes, which would be more for the very rich people. They have to pay more. So these are the three options which will be discussed and which are currently available for further investigations.
Okay, what is the reception of the public in relation to this proposal? What have you guys heard from the media, reading, people around you? What has been the reception of it?
Yes, from what I heard from people and also the ones I talked about, of course, from the gap between the rich and the poor, definitely the rich ones, the ones in business, they are completely opposing this basic income initiative, but the others are quite welcoming it. But there's also the issue of how the practicality of it, whether this will really work. So there's lots of questions going around about that. But it's very much welcomed among many communities. Now we'll just have to wait and see what will happen.
Kurt, in relation to the amount of people, the amount of money that people earn, we were talking about the basic income. I mean the minimum wage. What is the amount of that money and how it would work if they get this basic income on top of that? What is the relationship that exists there?
Yeah, this is definitely a point which many which are against this initiative are always coming up, because the minimum income in Switzerland is around 3,000, I think 3,200 to be precise. So the basic income would be 2,500 and the minimum income would be 3,200, which means only 700 if you don't do anything. Or if you go to work, like 8 to 9 hours a day, you get 700 more at the end of month. So many of these people, especially the business owners, which employs many people at, let's say, a very low salary, of course they are against this initiative because they would have a problem to employ these lower paid people. They are coming up. What a person, if they are coming out of school, they say, I don't need any more education, I don't need to school, I don't need to go to university because I already have 2,500. So why do I need to go all through this education stuff and then I will not get much more anymore? Okay, of course they will get more when they are better educated, of course. But this is definitely a point which is coming up and which is really heavy in discussion currently.
So if we look at the living income guaranteed proposal, we propose that not everyone gets an unconditional basic income, because this precisely, as we were also discussing, people that already make millions, for example, or a lot of money would also get these 2,500 francs, Swiss francs, which doesn't make sense, because it's like, as Caroline was saying, it's like throwing money to the people that already make a lot of money. So to make an incentive for people to work, it is doubling the minimum wage as a form of incentive, a form of motivation for people to precisely educate themselves, and knowing that yes, we are supported, for example, as students, but if you do go to work, you earn a lot more than the living income guaranteed, which is in essence the equivalent to a dignified to live. We were discussing also people and their income, their ability to have access to this money, this good living standard.
We lost you quite a bit, Marlen. I didn't hear the question.
Okay, we were discussing about immigration, and what have you witnessed, for example, as an immigrant in Switzerland, in relation to the opportunities that people have and how this could benefit immigrants in Switzerland? Would it benefit the country?
Yeah, as an immigrant, definitely I do not have equal access to the opportunities like a Swiss person would have. So most of the immigrants here in Switzerland, the only opportunities that we have access to are the jobs that don't pay so well, and these are jobs like cleaning, basically jobs to do something to do with the hands, moving things from one place to another. That's and this we are not paid so well. So with this basic income for everyone, this would really lift off the burden for many of the people, for many of the immigrants, because living here in Switzerland is already a struggle in itself. When you don't have a job, it's almost impossible. And even if you have a job and you have very little income, it's still very, very expensive and almost impossible to live here. So this income will really assist and support a lot the immigrants. Really would be great support.
That would be a great, yes, it will be great that they will get that support, but we were also mentioning why immigration happens is that, for example, even people looking at the news of the Swiss initiative, people were like, yes, let's go and live in Switzerland, which would obviously create more immigration in a country because, yes, they're getting a basic income. So what do you see would be the solution to prevent also the overflow of people then now wanting to live in Switzerland, for example?
From the climate of the community, from what the people are talking, from other European countries, the neighboring ones, they are already also preparing to propose such an initiative in their countries. So it would be great if this initiative not only is done, this basic income is not only in Switzerland, but also everywhere in the world. Therefore, then we will not need to have people immigrating to Switzerland because they already have enough to live on in their own countries. So this will be, the other European countries are looking at Switzerland as an example at the moment. So we wait to see whether how this will go on. But if this initiative really becomes law, then lots is going to change, not only in Switzerland, but in Europe and other parts of the world, and the whole world will follow. So it could go, this is the way that we would like this initiative to go.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And as also we propose with the living income guaranteed, it must be implemented globally, locally as a country, but globally, because otherwise we will have precisely this problem of the influx of immigration, which is obviously losing the whole purpose of making it a national system, right? So, Kurt, in relation to you being a Swiss person, what has been the current, what has been the culture that you've lived in relation to the high living standard, and how people then approach this unconditional support that is being proposed? How the people are, you know, already like used to having this high living standard, and now on top there comes the basic income proposal. So how does that work? Oh, just hold on a second. We are not listening to you. Can try now.
Okay, very sorry.
Yeah.
This was the little Christian. Yeah, actually, okay, now I lost the. No, it was just I wanted to give an example about, for example, AHV is working. That the very rich people are paying the very poor people. The rich people are not depending on this assurance, but this assurance is depending on the rich people. Let's put it that way, so that the social system is more in balance. So actually, just wanted to mention what also Bernard called, that this system will, when such a country like Switzerland will start with introducing basic income. This will create an imbalance in the current world, and that's probably also a point which we discussed before, that many immigrants would like to just come to Switzerland. So even right now, because Switzerland is a very rich country, many people and many foreign people are trying to come here or are even there. So every fifth person is a foreign, or even in fourth or fifth person is a foreign person, which is very a lot.
Exactly. So that's why the proposal must not only be for Switzerland but everywhere else in the world.
Exactly.
Which other point would you like to discuss in relation to the flaws that we've mentioned? The funding, we already said, is if there's value-added tax, not good for the people because prices will go up, and then
the issue also of the social security. People are curious to what will happen about the social security system here in Switzerland, because currently you get quite a good chunk of money from the social security offices here in Switzerland, and with the this basic income, there's lots of questions about whether the social security will still be there, or this 2,500 Swiss francs will be the new social security, and if so, what happens to the current social security, or will it be added? Will it be like an added bonus? So there's lots of questions about that. People think that the social security will decrease, the amount will decrease because of the income, the basic income. So that's also another point.
Very important point, because Switzerland already had this foundation as a basics given to the people, correct?
Yes.
That's also an important point to consider. We are very happy that there is already that initiative in the world from Switzerland, but we also have to consider that people are already used to that kind of social awareness, social care. They already have that benefit, which in many countries of the world we don't.
Yeah.
Any other point that you'd like to add on top of what we have discussed?
Yeah, just to expand that point of Switzerland already enjoys a very good media coverage. Issues in Switzerland are quite well covered by the media, and so people are very well educated when it comes to decisions that they have to make, because the government is really the people, unlike many parts of the country. Like in my country, Kenya, the government is only of a few individuals. The people are only involved during the voting time. But after the election is done, everyone is not considered. But here, you're forever considered. Everyone's decision, everyone's vote is important in this country. And so, and before, let's say, a referendum or something has to be changed in the constitution, or before a new law has to be passed, there is usually lots of debates, lots of discussions, lots of community get-togethers to discuss these issues. And then when the time comes to make a particular decision in regards to the community, then it's a vote that is cast through good education. You have very good background information, and you know exactly what you're voting for. And so I would say that this is also a good thing about Switzerland, and if this also could be adopted by the whole world, this could be really a fantastic thing to do when the people actually matter. The government is the people and not just individuals. This would be really Great.
That is indeed a great example of the Swiss people, and the education is so vital, because I was just watching a video of how people in relation to the Affordable Care Act, called the Obamacare in the US, people have no idea what it is about, and the whole government is shut down, and they have no idea of what it is actually proposing. So we can see a massive difference and an example to follow from the Swiss people, and you also as an immigrant witnessing the difference is so important also to share. So thanks a lot for sharing your testimony, what you've researched, what you've witnessed in relation to this proposal and this initiative. We will sure be following through with it, but we also encourage people to investigate the way to make it sustainable, which is through the living income guaranteed, our proposal, which is a form of using the mechanism of basic income with certain ways, political changes, economic changes, that can make it functional through, for example, the nationalization of the resources and the basic services to make it sustainable. Because it is a great idea, we all agree with it, but of course it must be something practical, as we were discussing. So thanks, guys. This has been a great hangout, very informative. And anything else that you would like to mention?
No, that's all for today.
Thanks a lot, Kurt, and hi to Crystal.
Say hi, Crystal. Say hi.
We have to get Crystal ready for bed now.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so we'll see you guys in the next hangout. Thanks for watching. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you, Marlen.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.